Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Picnic Table Chat Show. It is season 10, episode 4, and good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining for another random night of chat. It's probably not going to be a massively long one again tonight. Um, just like still quite unwell, to be honest, very tired, getting over this nasty chest infection that's been plaguing me for the last few weeks. So I'm just sort of trying to get in the rest as and when I can. So, like I said, it probably won't be a massively long one tonight, but we are here, and what's it? Yeah, cool. So, episode 4. What is in store for tonight? Not a massive amount. Good evening, Ants Dorset. Good evening, Demon Forge. Good evening, Antisocial. I haven't managed to speak to you yet or say good evening, so just saying that. Obviously, on the screen we have the Polyrachus dives, our massive colony of Polyrachus dives that I have in the tanks. I have no idea how many ants are on screen at the minute, but I can tell you that the bridge is very active and the nest is still very active. Like there's still tons of ants running around everywhere else as well. It's like so yeah, there's just crazy numbers again. Um, One thing I have always noticed with dives, and this has come up a bit recently, um, even though dives don't technically go into diapause, they do have a tendency to slow down once a year or every couple of years. They don't necessarily stop altogether, but they do slow down for a couple of weeks. I have noticed that. And yeah, so if you're experiencing that, don't panic too much. It's starting to come out of the coldest seasons now, and I expect you'll start seeing some more activity. I mean, this colony itself was pretty quiet a few weeks back, if you remember, and they're only just starting to take sugars again over the last week or so. So they're still not at their full sort of strength that I would expect to see. But I'm not going to panic because I know what they're like, and yeah, they do this pretty much every year. They sort of chill out a little bit and then they go full on again. I suppose when the queens are like they're laying eggs almost constantly, some of these queens, they got to have a little rest. So gives them that little rest, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean the ants should be starting to come out of diapause any time from now over the next month, really. Depends obviously when they went in. But yeah, most will start coming out now. We'll start seeing activity on the ground within the next month or so, I would have thought as well. They were quite early out last year, if I remember correctly. They were quite early. And obviously, with this massive storm coming in now, in fact, this was one thing I was going to talk about. With this massive storm coming in now, we're looking at getting slightly warmer temperatures, which might well wake them up, and get things going again. We want a nice early start, but we want them to have a good diapause as well. Obviously, as natives in the wild, the longer they stay in diapause, the stronger they'll be as a colony and queen. But obviously, the earlier they start, the more resources they can collect for their brood to produce stronger queens. And obviously, the earlier the queens are produced and storing up those fat resources and protein resources, whatnot, then the stronger and better start that they'll have when they do take flight to make a new nest. So it's all sort of relevant. So yeah, I'm sort of hoping that they don't they don't come out too early, but yeah, I suppose it'd be nice to see them at some point. So yeah, we got this nasty old storm coming in. I see some of you have already started seeing the effects. I think it's going to last a day or so. It's another named one. I can't remember the name, but it starts with I. I'm pretty sure they change it every storm, don't they? They go through like the alphabet and male and female. I don't really understand. I should understand a bit more about storms living on Portland, but I really don't. Obviously, being on this little island, yeah, it's very windy where you are, I expect, down Dorset. But being on this little island, we're sort of getting battered by the wind and the sea. I went down to the beach earlier. That's it. Is it Isha? Aisha? Isha? I'm gonna say Isha. I'm not very good at pronunciation. Everyone knows that. But yeah, I went down to Chesil Beach earlier. It's not like a sandy beach. It's all pebbles, all stones. Not the sort of place you want to be when there's a big tide coming in, because if it's lifting up those stones and throwing them at you, they are going to hurt when they hit. But it was really cool. We did some driftwood picking up, which is always handy. It's always really it's great living so close to the sea because I can just go down after any storm and get as much driftwood as I want. Yeah, got a few other bits like cuttlefish and stuff like that, which is cool. And well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, it is always windy. It's because it's like it just like in the middle of the ocean, essentially, isn't it? It's like slap bang between two sides of water. And yeah, it's always a bit windy on Portland and well, Cheddar. Apart from when it's like we get our own little microclimate, so it can be like sunny in Weymouth, and then on Portland it's like covered in fog, and like it's kind of weird, isn't it? I love Portland to bits, and the climate is part of what you get from living here. You know, it's all part of it. I enjoy it, but it's a bit like I don't really want to go out at the minute. I've never had to worry about flooding, at least, because obviously living on a hill, it's we're not going to get flooded. If I get flooded, everyone else is already gone. So that's sort of a benefit of being on Portland, I suppose. I do like Chesil Beach. It's great for fishing as well. Anyone that's into their fishing has probably heard of Chesil Beach, as it's like worldwide known for its amazing fishing spots. Loads of mackerel, easy fishing for mackerel, but in winter months you get like cod and all sorts of stuff. Bass down there, but there is restrictions on bass. So I haven't obviously kept up to date on the restrictions on the bass at the minute or this year, so I don't know if you're even allowed to catch bass anymore. But there's some nice fish down there. Then just off the coast, there's a load of wrecks as well, which is really cool for like diving and long lining and things like that. Yeah, it's great for mackerel. Literally, you can throw out a line, and you're almost guaranteed to catch something. If you can throw out the line long enough, anyways, if you can cast far enough, then you are pretty much guaranteed to catch some mackerel because they're just that numerous out there, which is like. There's nothing better than chucking a fresh mackerel on a barbecue whilst you're still on the beach fishing for them. You know, proper that's proper food. And mackerel's really good for you. It's a really oily fish, I think, and yeah, it's just generally good for you. In fact, sorry, I was just drinking coffee. In fact, in Weymouth they sell mackerel buns. Like you can get a fish burger that's mackerel. Uh, I know it's not like a massively done thing, but I have had it quite a few times. It's all right. I think that they do it with horseradish or something, but it's all right. Yeah, and horseradish or tartar, I think it was. I can't remember. We've gotten well off subject to the ants, haven't we? Wow, that's uh, that's what my brain does. But anyway, so the storm kicking everyone's butt countrywide. It literally looks like it's going to hit the whole country. So just be careful if you're going out anywhere or doing anything or on the roads. And in fact, if you're going anywhere, check your routes as well because I know a lot of roads might be affected and trains are going to be affected by the storm as well. So just keep safe, everyone. You know, um, last thing we want is someone not to turn up at the next chat show. um, nah, you know what I mean. But so it has been terribly cold over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know, about 2 weeks. It feels like forever. It's been terribly cold, so we haven't been able to get out any post yet this month, which feels ridiculous. Um, but it is what it is. There's no point in posting. Well, we got some post out because it was dry stock, but we haven't posted out any live ants. I think. I've like been waiting to. It's quite annoying. So I know some of you are still waiting on your prizes from Christmas, but obviously, like I say, we haven't been able to send out anything live um, since before Christmas, basically. And yeah, so we are looking to start sending again this week. Jim, if you send me a message on Facebook, we can talk to you about that. That'd be cool. Yeah, it's been super cold, and like I say, like we're hoping with the change in weather, we will be able to get them out this week. We were looking for tomorrow, but it's still looking a little bit iffy with the whether we're even going to be able to get off the island. To be honest, with this storm coming in, they might actually shut the causeway. It's been talked about, so it might end up being a Tuesday post. But it will be this week, which is a massive relief to anyone who's waiting, I'm sure, that's listening. Because I know a few of you are. Just looking into the chat, but yeah, we'll get there. You know, hold. Yeah, I was gonna actually message you about that resto guy, just because I remembered whilst I was setting up the chat show. I was like, oh, I should have mentioned that, just because I knew you were going away. But yeah, that's not a problem. If you want, let me know. When you're back on the Saturday, just so I know that you're back and whatnot, and we're all good. Then we'll get it out the week following. Um, uh, on Facebook, Jim, just search up Ants on a Rock, buddy, and that you'll find the Ants on the Rock page. Just send me a message there. That's the best way. Um, but yeah, boxes and packaging is always welcome. You know, I'll always take anything like that because the amount of boxes and packaging we go through is unbelievable, especially packaging. You just go through it. Yeah, we have started like shredding things and using like leftover newspapers and anything that sort of can be recycled as such. We are trying to use that a bit more than the bubble wrap. We are still bubble wrapping ants, but you know what I mean. Like if we can cut down on our plastics and use more recyclable paper, then that's all good with us. But yeah, we go through a lot of packaging material. It's one of the main things that we always go, oh, we're out of packaging. Go get some more. But luckily, we have a few donators of packaging occasionally. Um, the best thing to do actually is to go out like the night before the cycling comes and just knock on one of my neighbours' doors and go, can I grab a couple of papers out your cycling? And they tend to not mind. So we get a lot of newspapers and that like that way at the minute. But like I say, anything to sort of help with cycling and save on those plastics. Because again, we do want to be a bit eco-friendly as much as possible. Obviously, there is single-use plastics and things involved, but we want to try and eliminate some of it to some extent. You know, it's in fact it's one of my goals this year is to somewhat become more eco-friendly in that way, try and get rid of our plastics, although a lot of our enclosures are now plastic and stuff, but that doesn't count because you're not getting rid of them in the same way. You know what I mean. Oh dear, oh dear. So yeah, posting will be happening this week, or it should be, if the weather doesn't like dramatically turn to snow. But yeah, everything should be fine. What else is on the list of things to talk about? So let's talk a little bit about Sheffield, because obviously, whilst I've been unwell, I haven't done an awful lot of work, I admit. Well, I've been working, but I've been resting. When I am working, I'm working my butt off, trying to get as much done as I can before I have to rest again. And then I'm resting. And so, yeah, I shred everything paper. Yeah, exactly. I need to get a shredder for myself because I'm going to have to borrow one, but it is on the list of things to get and just shred everything basically. Making a 3D printing filament out of recycled plastic. Yeah, I've seen that at store set. I have seen that. Oh, we're getting visited by Evie, maybe? No. Um, yeah, I have seen that, and we've looked into it, but the machines are just ridiculously expensive. I'm sure in a few years' time, like the they'll work it out a bit better, and it'll become cheaper, more sort of user friendly and whatnot. Because there's quite a lot to it to still try and get an actual decent filament out of it. You have to like constantly be measuring it for diameter and all of that sort of thing, you know. I'm just going to lock my office door. There we go. Office is locked, so we can't get a visit. But yeah, 3D printing filament is something that we've looked at recycled because I've kept like 99% of all of our failed prints and like testers and things like that. And I've literally got boxes of testers and all of that lot. So yeah, if we can grind them down into plastic filament to make a new 3D printing filament, then happy days. But it's somewhat in the future, I think, at this point in time. But it is doable. People are doing it, but like I say, you need a little bit of know-how, a little bit of time, and that's stuff I just haven't got, to be honest. I know, right, my time at the minute is very stretched. I'm super busy when I am at work or working, got some really big projects on this year, as well as the shows and everything else. So I've actually had to recruit in some helpers to help me keep on top of feeding everything and whatnot, which is actually making a massive difference now. But I know I just haven't got the time to do something like that. You know what I mean? Not myself, anyways. But there's plans in the works for later in the year for more things. Um, so let's talk a little bit about Sheffield, because I have been working on Sheffield, I say, in between bits and bobs, and just sort of solidifying a few those final details. The show's going to be absolutely fantastic. I hope you have seen some of the advertising. If you haven't seen advertising yet, share one of the posts, please, because it all helps us. It helps it get out there, helps it get to a wider audience, and just if someone's interested, it might might make them have a good day or give them a good day. I try and make a good show, and in that sort of sense, we've done something for the kids. I might have mentioned it already. I have advertised it as well. We're doing free face painting now from 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock. Was it? Yeah, from 10 till 1, I think it is. We have free face painting now at the Sheffield show. So if you turn up with youngsters, or even if you're an adult which wants to get free face painting, go and get your free face painting. It's completely free. It's there up near the stage area on the show. We will be uploading a map probably the same week of the show. We don't want to give it all away too early. Oh, that's it. You're going and you're bringing the family. Spectacular. All of you face painting. I want to see dinosaurs, butterflies, Spider Man. I don't know. I don't care. I want to see some face painters, or face painting, basically. I'm even going to probably get mine done just because it's free. Why not? There's a Mario worm crawling through that. You see the Mario worm just on the bottom right hand corner. Is that right or left? Just under the food, under the wood. Is there? Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. Like I said, I think it will it'll be really cool, like just for the families, really. Like, be like, right, I'm going to watch a lecture. You go get your face painted. That sort of thing, keeps the kids entertained a little bit longer. And for me, it's not just about the adults which attend. Which, yes, the adults are there, going to be spending the money on the trade show and whatnot. But it is about making it more of a family event. I really want to interest those younger generations in what we're doing, bringing them in and showing them what cool stuff we do. Even if they just turn up for the free face painting, then we can go, look at these ants. And they'll fall in love with ants because everyone does. And in that, actually, we've been working on the enclosures that we're taking, getting them nicely spruced up. We're going to be cleaning glasses as well this week, making them nice and sparkly. Not quite sparkly, but clear, because they do get a little bit sort of moggy. Is moggy the right word? Muggy? Whatever. They get kind of marks on them after a while. They need a good clean on the glass every now and then. So yeah, we're giving them a bit of a spruce up, making sure everything's nice. We've got I think it's 3 new exhibits that we're taking with us, as well as some of the old ones as well. Of course, we'll have the classic leaf cutters and bullet ants there, but we're going to have a few other exhibits there as well. So pop along, have a little look at some of my personal ant colonies and the way I keep my ants. And yeah, there will be staff on hand to answer questions if you have them. Obviously, if you have in-depth questions, it's probably better to come and ask me personally. I'll be on my stall most of the day, but I will also be in and around the show, like mingling with people and checking out the traders, because I do try and enjoy the shows myself. I spend so long every year working on, like, this show. I started working on, like, I think back in May of last year, something crazy like that. Like, a long time I work on each show. Like, I've been working on the Bristol one since August sort of time. Maybe even before that, I started putting in the foundations, and that's not until August, So I spend about a year or more working on each show. We're doing 3 a year at a minute, as well as there's a few other things planned that I'm not going to divulge just yet. But so yeah, I do try and make the most of the shows. I try and enjoy them, get a couple of bits, like buy a couple of bits myself, because there's plenty of traders selling lots of different items, not just ants. And I'm interested in all sorts of things. Um, and yeah, like it's turning into a real sort of fun event. Like I'm really looking forward to this whole year, basically, because we got. I'll be there, bold guy in the green jacket. Yeah, you'll be there, Dino, because you worked there, or you volunteered there. Sorry, but yeah, you'll be there. Um, yeah. What was I saying? Can't remember. Yeah, that's it. I'm looking forward to the whole year. Like I say, by the time we get Bristol, like Bristol is going to be a massive event compared to last year's Bristol. We sort of gone all out. We've got the field as well. I think I've mentioned this. If I haven't mentioned this, you might be the first people to hear this. But we've got the field as well as the hall. So the trade section and stage will be in the hall, and then there's plenty more awesome things going outside on the field. As you can imagine, being given a field that's pretty much the like it's like the size of the hall and a bit more. So I've been given like literally double and more the space, um, and more possibilities. So you know what I mean. And with that much space and my ideas, we're gonna have a great show. It's like I'm really super excited for it. Yeah, that's it. Ant Dorset, it was brilliant, wasn't it? And like everyone left having a great time. Everyone left smiling. I don't think there was anyone really that said, "Oh, I didn't really enjoy that," or "It wasn't my cup of tea." Everyone had a great time, and that to me shows that we're on the right sort of tracks. And it shows that we're probably going to have an even better show next year. Not just with the attendance, but yes, a lot of people will probably come back next year. It's not this year, sorry. Expecting like another great show, and yeah, I wanna really sort of, what's the word? Not surprise everyone, because I'm rubbish at surprising, and I'm gonna tell everything closer to the date. But yeah, I sort of I can't give it away. It's so hard to describe it without giving it away. I just want to like do something a bit different. We'll say, we still got all the same stuff there that's gonna be there, like that's you would expect to be there. Same stuff that was at the last show, but then a lot more. Won't be at the Sheffield. Yeah, it is a bit far for you, Ant Dorset. Maybe in a few years' time, you know, um, if you keep going with the way you're going, you'll be coming along yourself, and there's always the possibility in the future, buddy. Sheffield is far, but it's not actually that far when you think of like if you're going to like Newcastle or something like that. Because we have looked at doing like a Glasgow show, but honestly, Glasgow's a really long way for me to sort of travel, because you got to bear in mind like fuel and travel and everything like that. And I have to know enough people in the area that will be happy to volunteer if I can't bring my normal volunteers with us, because they are mainly based down here. So there's a lot of things to consider when I'm thinking. Of where to host these shows, but like I said, I have the swamps of Norfolk. I have I have got a few ideas in my mind for later on in the year. I'll probably be announcing what July, probably around June, July sort of time. If they're happening, I'll be announcing them around then. If they Because one of them, like one thing I've got planned is so much thinking and organization. I'm basically going to have to shut myself away for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and just concentrate all my brain power on putting it together. Because again, it's something that I don't think it's ever been done before. It's a little bit different, a little bit out of the box, but I think it'll be really enjoyable. And definitely something I'd be looking to do every year if it goes well. But again, it's just lots of organisation, tons of paperwork, like more paperwork than the Bristol and the Sheffield show put together. And it's a little bit like that. And then we're thinking something a little bit like towards the end of the year, there might be something else as well. But again, I can't divulge too much information without giving it all away. Just remember, I've always got plans. You're not associated with. Um, again, near the Kent show. See, we looked at Kent again. We looked, like I say, we've looked at quite a few different locations around the country, and I won't divulge, but I've spoken to a few different venues that would be happy to have us if I sent them an email saying I need a venue. So, there's always time in the future. But again, like, I've got 3 shows already. When we really start pulling in crowds and like these shows are sustainable by themselves, because you got to remember every time we expand, it's sort of always scheming away a little bit. Yeah. Well, you got to stay ahead of the game these days, always got new ideas and new plans and things I'm working on. Like it helps that my brain just never stops. um but yeah, so like you gotta remember when I'm putting on these shows, there's a lot to consider money wise. Like with this one, I put in a lot of money, like myself as a sponsor, but we also put in a lot of money ourselves just to make the show happen, because it's not quite like we've upped the budget to go up to a stadium, if I'm completely honest, which is fine because we just cover it. But it just means that there's, you know what I mean? It's a massive expense, and there's not a. We haven't been going long enough to have a massive budget in the show bank account yet. You know what I mean? So anything over that comes straight out of my pocket. So until we really have sort of a good reputation and we could say we're going to put on a show in this new place and we can know that these people are going to come to our show, then we kind of need to hold off doing our big shows. Not just that, it is a lot of time. Like I say, I put a lot of work into these shows, time, contacts, like thousands and thousands of emails, sleepless nights leading up to the shows, stress for months around the shows, and yeah, so it's definitely on the cards. But I think we're going to be looking at adding more shows probably next year or the year after if we're going to, judging on how this year goes. I'd say it's one of those things. We would love to host a show every month in every county, but it's I don't think that would just be feasible. One day we'll have a like a huge budget in the bank and we can just go like, let's drop a show down here, boosh, and people will turn up and we'll all be happy. But we're just not at that stage yet. But like that's no issues. We've only been going we've had 4 shows now, so yeah, we've had 3 main shows starting at Sheffield last year. The Bristol one before that was sort of a test to see how it all needs to work and really put me to the test and teach me how to run them. I mean, last year was such a learning curve for me. Like, I have no problem with saying I made quite a few mistakes, especially towards the earlier part of the year. With the Sheffield show, I should have made sure there was parking, and that was one of my mistakes, really. There was no parking near the event. That wasn't very expensive. So people ended up paying out a lot on the parking, and it was a bit of a walk from the venue as well, from what I hear. But it was in the city centre, so I weighed that up at a time, and I think I might have made the wrong decision putting it in the city centre. I should have went with the parking. So we learnt from that, and now we always make sure there's parking, which was actually the reason we changed the venue from where we were going to be to the stadium, because the venue we were going to be, basically, we had it booked, and then they messaged me saying someone else has booked the car park for your day. And I was like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. We needed that. And in the end, it become unfeasible for us to use it. So yeah, we moved to the stadium, which is a lot bigger and a lot more kind of grand and very cool. But it was a little bit of an annoyance at the same time that, we had this booked in for May basically of last year, and they left it until like October, November until they told me. I can't actually remember. It was quite late in the year. Um, but yeah, now we've got loads of parking. I've learned from all my mistakes basically, and that's the thing. Like I always will admit when I make a mistake. You know that if you know me long enough, I do make mistakes. I'm human, and I'm under a lot of pressure quite often to like get things done on time or um, in a professional manner. You know what I mean? Like paperwork and stuff like that. And yeah, I do make mistakes occasionally, but I'll always admit to them, and I'll try and learn from them so that I try not to make them again. But yeah, learning from the mistakes, owning your mistakes—that's the main thing, isn't it? And that's definitely what I'm doing with the shows. Like anything that, like I always ask, like not just the guests, but I always ask the traders, like, is there anything that I should be improving on or working on? And sort of because at the end of the day, these traders, a lot of them have been doing these shows, attending shows, a lot longer than I have, and they've sort of got they know what they like, work with everyone, and everyone's having a great day in it. I will try and help all I can on the box and packaging. Yeah, you're a star, man. Thank you, Jim. What else should we do? Should we have a little duck race? Oh, before I go, I will say at the Sheffield show as well, I'm going to have some ants that haven't been on the store before. Some have been on the store, but not for a very long time. But we're going to have new species of ants. We're going to have more species of ants than you can find on the website at the minute, basically. Lots of other inverts, loads of enclosures, all the foods, all the sugars, loads of cool stuff that you're going to have to come and see if you're coming along to the show, basically. Let's have a duck race. Well, I've got about 50 million tabs open at the minute. Duck race. Boosh. Let's give it a minute to load, apparently. All right, so if you haven't played the duck race with us before, all you got to do is shout out a number. And if your number's already been taken, choose a different number. This is not for a prize. This is just for fun. Want to make that clear now because we don't want anyone upset at the end. So this is just for fun, not for a prize. Just grab a number, grab a duck, and good luck, everyone. Is that right? Have I done that right? Yeah, I've done it right. Hang on. There we go. Kapow! Duck race. Let's have a little look at our ducks. What have we got? You gotta watch out for these plain. I say it every time. These plain ducks, they gang up on you. They'll group round you. They'll trip you up under the water. They might even throw the old spike strip out. But keep an eye on these plain ducks. We got royal duck here. I can't tell if that's a male or female crown. I suppose it's not a tiara. I'm gonna say that's king duck right next to the gang members. Careful, king duck, they might have your crown. We got pink stripy duck here. Again, you gotta watch out for these stripy ducks. The stripy ducks like to team up with the zigzags and the spots. You gotta be careful of that sort of behavior on the racetrack. What else we got? We got plain ducks, plain ducks. Viking duck. Viking duck will not stand for any misbehavior around him. I think he's going to be fairly safe. We got magic duck here. I don't know if he's allowed to use spells during the race. It might be against the rules. And then we got Vampire Duck here at the end, or Dracula Duck, whatever you want to go with. He has been told he's not allowed to turn into a bat. He must swim conventionally. And let's get on with the race. God, that noise does me in every time. Good luck, everybody. That's it. Very dangerous duckies. See, these ducks have been training in the gym all day. They don't just train in swimming, they train in boxing, taekwondo, and about 50 million deadly sports. They are the deadliest ducks on the range. Um, but you wouldn't want to step into the duck kind of house they'll have there. I do like duck. I shouldn't say that whilst watching a duck race, but I do like duck. If you go to a Chinese, you gotta have duck with pancakes. Let's go. Thank Oh, yeah, duck with pancakes, you stick a little bit in the thing and a little bit of that cucumber that's sliced up real thin, right? And some of that, I can't even pronounce it. So some of that brown sauce stuff that they stick on, the brown stickiness. And there you go, you got yourself a duck pancake wrap. Boom. Yeah, I do like them. I haven't had Chinese in ages, actually. I make my own Chinese stuff occasionally, like sweet and sour and things like that. In fact, I've had a lot of stir fries lately because I've been trying to get into vegetables, keep my iron levels up. Because again, with my chest infections and my emphysema and internal bleeding and everything else, we get quite low iron. So keeping the iron levels high is important at a minute, making sure that got enough going around, you know. Because actually, that makes you worse than lack of oxygen. Because that can be like, even if you're breathing, the oxygen's not getting around your body properly. Right, here we go. Last 5 seconds. Good luck, everyone. Boosh, number one. It was plain duck number one. I didn't see any sneaky behavior, so I'm gonna let that one go. I think from what I could see, that was Jack. Well done, Jack. Like I say at the start, I'm afraid there was no prizes for this one. We will have prizes again soon. Uh, for probably how many more streams have we got before the to do that? One, two, three. Oh, we got a couple of weeks. So I'll probably do one in the next week or so. We'll do a couple of giveaways with some duck races. Why not? And also, I'm going to be doing another giveaway for some tickets to the exhibition. And I think it was a gift voucher as well. But I have to double check with management. Yeah, I had to double check and get it sorted and actually come up with a giveaway because I hate doing those like tag and share things because they just get really confusing to sort of track it. Um, by the way, Tom, my prize camper notice are doing great. Gonna have to upgrade them. Brilliant. That's what I like to hear. The ants doing well, needing upgrades. That's what we like to hear. In fact, I think I saw the video on that. They're sort of just like everywhere in your outworld. Was that what I saw? I think that's what I saw. Yeah. Vouchers for the show to spend on. I think it's my store. It might be over the whole show. I need to double check the details. Um, but yeah, we'll be announcing that giveaway as soon as I get my head round it. And yeah, try and get on it if you haven't got tickets yet, or even if you have got tickets yet, and give them away to your friends and keep the voucher. I don't know, but it's a giveaway. We do giveaways occasionally. I'm going to do a little reminder as well after the show. We'll be doing a quick stock take of everything that's left, and it will be going on the website at show prices until the end of Valentine's Day, which I believe is February the 14th. Is that right, everyone? I hope that's right. Um, I'm sure that's right. 14th? Right, so yeah, basically it's going to be to the end of the 14th, going into the 15th. That midnight, we're going to stop the sale. I say everything will be reduced to put show prices. So if you couldn't get there, you can still get things at a slight discount, but you will have to pay postage on the postage items, you know. Um, Obviously, ants are free postage, but if you add in a nest or anything, then it's going to be paid for all the stores at the event so that you can redeem them at all the shop. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, like I say, I need to work out the details and make sure that all the traders are happy basically to do something like that. And then, yeah, we can do stuff like that. But I always like to double check with everyone before just dropping a voucher on them and saying whatever. In your intro with your boss, if you get caught not knowing the date. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. What I do is I wait for everyone else to sort of panic, and then I panic, and I get it done. No, I'm hold on. I'm sure it's the 14th. No, I don't know, but right. So yeah, the sale will go on till the end of the 14th. Whatever. There it is. And yeah, it won't like yeah. I don't. I'm sure it's the 14th of Valentine's Day. You've worried me now. Thanks, man. Thanks. But so yeah, that is that's that. I'm gonna love you all and leave you because I need to get on with a few jobs. and do some packaging and whatnot, start getting things ready because it's going to take a long time getting all these parcels out. We've got quite a build up now over the month. 14th is that, yes, what? I did not expect to get that right, to be honest. I was actually panicking then. But yeah, all good. Thank you. But thank you all for joining for another show. I'm sorry it's not a massively long one again tonight, but it has been great fun regardless. All of you that need to message me, find me over on the Answer the Rock Facebook. I will be answering messages and whatnot for the next hour or so, whilst doing a few other jobs here. And then it's going to be somewhat of an early night because it's a school night and we got to be up at 6 or half 6 with the kids. And oh, it's great fun, isn't it? We love school nights. No, not really. But yes, massive thank you to everyone here tonight. Massive thank you to our sponsors, Answer Us and Valhalla Martial Arts. Absolutely amazing people and absolutely amazing businesses supporting us this whole time. Honestly, I probably would have gone mad if I didn't have them to talk to and moan at and de-stress with occasionally, let alone everything else they do for me. So they are amazing people and support me very well. Massive thank you to any of our Patreon supporters, or all of our Patreon supporters, and obviously a massive thank you to just you guys for turning up yet again and listening to me chat rubbish. It's not 10 o'clock yet, I won't swear. But yeah, love you all and leave you all. So as always from me, I'll see you again soon, Ant fans. Good night.